everybody has this sheet first. So the first 15 to 20 minutes, we're going to go through a goal setting. So I want you guys to kind of open up your minds and allow yourselves to think pretty big of what you want to accomplish, not only in 2020, but also 2030, right down the road with your children, right? So we're going to do a little exercise walking through that, and then we're going to break down the finances on how we actually get there. All right, so everybody pull out their sheet. So what we're going to do first is, so 2019 is over, right? You're going to see number 1 and 2. What did you love about 2019, right? Like what actually went well? So, and I want you to write down as much as you can. What did you accomplish? What was your favorite day? Did you go on a vacation that you enjoyed, right? So just take some time, write down. I want it to be a full piece of paper too. So just start writing, right? There's no right or wrong answer. Everybody's gonna have a different answer, a different stuff. How many books did you read? Did you work out a certain amount of time? Did you lose a certain amount of weight during the year? Did you hit every goal that you actually did and wrote down for last year? Did you get a new puppy? Yeah. That's probably going to be in my negative section. With the way that she's been eating my house, that's horrible. So try to write everything that was good. Did you start a new relationship? Did you make new friends? Did you join a new gym? Anything, right? Did you have a new baby? All right, Danny? New career. Maybe you got a raise, something in 2019 that went well. We'll take about 1 to 2 more minutes on this. Anything that went well in 2019, anything, right? Can be small, can be big, right? Doesn't have to be just career. It can be mentally, emotionally. All right, so now you can keep going, right? This is for people that are done. We're moving on to the next one. What did you hate? I mean, a lot of shit goes wrong in life, right? 2019, there had to have something that went wrong. Write it down, right? Write it down. Did you lose a friendship? Did you get out of a relationship? Did you pay extremely too much in parking tickets? I mean, like anything. Maybe you spent too much money on things that didn't bring any value to your life. Anything that did not go well. Maybe you had a really bad day. You can write down that date. All right, be specific on this stuff. The more specific you are, the more your mind will allow yourself to let it go. All right. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna turn the page and we're leaving what happened in 2019 in the past, right? Good or bad, leave it there, right? So now what we're talking about is the future, 2020 and beyond. So essentially what this is I want you guys to kind of open up your minds to think whatever that you think that you want in life, you need to write it down, right? Like kind of, so I took this from another person. This is what I implemented into my life in 2016, which really changed it. I actually brought my original one that I did somewhere around here of when I first did this exercise, and everything that I wrote down has happened, plus more, which is pretty cool, right, to see. So think big. If you think it's unrealistic, write it down, right? Big, small, anything that you can go. All right, anything that you can think of. 2020, 2030, anything. You want to buy an island? Write it down, right? You have your favorite. I actually just bought, I don't know if I've told many of you this, I bought one of my dream cars last week. I bought a 1965 Ford Mustang last week, right? That was on my list in 2018. Can't drive it anywhere. Can't park it anywhere. Insurance is really high on it, but you know, that was my goal, right? So I set that goal, I wrote it down. How much money do you want to make in 2020? How much money do you want to make when you're 45 years old, when you're 60 years old? What are you doing in terms of your relationships? How are you treating your spouse? If you don't have a spouse, what does she look like or he look like, right? How many kids do you want to have? Be like as specific, but also as big as you possibly can. And don't be scared to write down unrealistic stuff. Your sheet should be completely filled, right? Maybe you want to travel. Where do you want to travel to? I've never been outside of the United States, so this year my goal is to go somewhere. I don't really know where yet, but I need to go somewhere, right? Yeah, we talked about that. Maybe you want to change jobs, change completely different career. Maybe you want to become a real estate investor and you want to start buying properties. Maybe you want to start a coffee shop. Maybe you want to start a small business, a restaurant. Maybe you want to start trying new restaurants and breaking your consistent routine. What about health, right? I mean, we're in a gym. How often do you want to work out in 2020? How often do you plan on working? Because health it's a long game, right? I mean, 1 year, being fit for 1 year doesn't mean anything, right? You have to make sure that you're continuously staying consistent with that routine. Diet, I mean, a lot of times, just staying consistent with a diet, you don't even have to exercise really, right? Alcohol consumption, maybe you need to reduce that. Maybe you want to buy a second home, right? A beach house, a farmhouse, a mountain house, create $100 extra a week in income. Back to the kids, what do you want your kids' names to be? I mean, simple stuff like that. I always like to think of it as, like, what is your ideal day? So if you reverse engineer from there, when you wake up, like, I want to wake up at 6 a.m., go to the gym, have breakfast with my kids, and be able to walk them to school, right? So I know that I have to buy a place or own a place or live somewhere that is in walking distance of a school, because that's important to me, right? I don't want to miss any of their little league games. Simple stuff like that, right? We'll do about 2 more minutes. Just keep writing anything, right? Anything you want. Maybe there's a certain friend that you didn't hang out with enough that you want to hang out with more. Or maybe there's a guy that you need to cut out of your life. Probably shouldn't be answering those phone calls anymore. It's negative energy. That's important stuff. All right, so what we're going to do now, so you can still, if you're still writing, this next one is a little bit more simple. So you have your big list of things, right, that you want to accomplish 2020 and on. Now what you're going to do, you're not going to turn the page, you're just going to be looking at these numbers. I want you to write a number 1, 2, 5, 10, or 20. So 1, 2, 5, 10, or 20 beside it of how many years it's going to take for you to accomplish it, that particular goal. Do it for every single goal that you wrote down. So buy an island. If you think it's realistic to buy it this year, then write a 1 beside it. If that's a 20-year plan, write a 20. Every single goal should have a number beside it. How long is it going to take to accomplish it? 1, 2, 5, 10, or 20. And if it's an infinity, right, like eternal happiness, it's an infinity, right? So now we're going back to those numbers, right? We wrote 1, 2, 5, 10. So now I want you to circle of the ones that are just 1 year for 2020, circle the top 4, right? So your top 4 1-year goals that you wrote the number beside, circle them. Huh? That's fine. If you only had 2 1-year goals, that's fine too, right? All right, so we're going to keep moving. So after that, we're going to turn the page, right? So we already have those circled. And then we're going to our top 1-year goals, right? So everybody, you have a spot in all 4 of those. And this is something you can do quick and at home, to be honest, right? But what you're going to do is you're going to write those 4 goals in their allotted numbers, and then write why, right? What is your why? Why do you want to accomplish that this year? Try to go a little bit deeper. If you like, I want to make $100,000 this year. Why is not because if your real why is to buy a new truck, then do that. But if it's so I can donate 10% of my money or invest 10% of my money or travel the world to reach those other bigger goals, we're going to go to the very back page. You have those 4 goals. What's the one thing that you can take immediate action to start it today, right now? Right? So it could be, if you want to raise, send an email to your boss saying, can we set up a meeting for coffee next week, right? If you want to travel, go and look at the prices of flights and start saving for that particular price, right? If you want to get married, start saving for the ring. So that's like the goal setting portion of it. Keep those. You should, if you have a spouse, I would go over it with them, right? Especially if they're here. Show them, like, this is what I want to accomplish. What do you want to accomplish? And you guys can talk about that stuff together. If you don't, you probably are going to add stuff throughout the year, right? Keep that. Like I said, I have mine from 2016 or early 2017, and I still look at it every once in a while And it's funny to see like how much you change, what your interests change, and also what you've accomplished, right? It's a baseline. So, all right. So what we're doing now we're going to talk about finances. So we're going to put that goal setting sheet away. We have our big goals set now. We have our small goals set for the year as well. How in the hell do we get there, right? Money is, this is everybody's pain point, right? Everybody, a lot of times it's a stressor, right? Worrying about money, worrying about where the next dollar is going to come from, worrying about do you have enough to cover your bills, and how are we going to retire? So I've broken this down into 5 different types of freedom, right, in terms of our retirement. So you'll see at the top we have financial security, financial vitality, financial independence, financial freedom, and then absolute financial freedom, right? So I'm going to show you exactly how you can find your exact number. Everybody in here's number is different, right? Because everybody spends money differently, everybody makes money differently that's sitting in this room. So your number is going to be different than everyone else. If you have a phone with a calculator on it, you're going to need it, right? So go ahead and pull that out. You're going to find the exact amount of money that you need to have to retire right now. Write your name at the top, and then who is blank blank financially, right? Because that's exactly who we're going to figure out. We're going to find out who you are, who your financial picture is, right? Money is not everything, but money also can help you achieve the things that you want to do, right? Whether it's donation or if it's for selfish reasons, right? I mean, if you want to buy those things, you have to have money to do that. All right, so financial security, right? So this is going to be our fixed expenses. And I want you to actually think about your exact numbers that you have right now. So the 5 categories that are going to be in here, and I want you to do it on a monthly basis. How much you're spending a month. So your mortgage and your rent. How much is your mortgage and rent on a monthly basis? Write it at the top. Write it in there. Next, utilities. What is your phone bill? What is your water, electric, gas for your current living situation right now? Right? So and write the numbers out, write them out because we're going to be adding them all up. Yeah, so right now you have your mortgage written out, and then you also have your utilities. Next, transportation. How much is your car payment? How much is your car insurance? And how much on average are you paying for gas on a monthly basis? Right? And if you don't know that gas number, again, I have a spreadsheet too that I can send everybody that you guys, it's easy to track, and you can write it down so you know exactly. I did my exact numbers for 2019, so it makes it a lot easier. But car payment, car insurance, and then also your gas. Or if you, this is a monthly basis too, right? Parking tickets counts. I added that in. I don't have a car payment, and so I have liability, and my monthly expenses this year on average were $868 for a car without a car payment, because it's all parking tickets. That's ridiculous. $868 a month. That's on average. That's ridiculous. Next, groceries for the food in the family. This is not included eating out. So groceries. And again, this is, it's generic numbers. I have the averages of so the average utility in the U.S. is $289. The average transportation is $729, and the average grocery is $511. So like if you don't know the number, you can use those averages. So the financial security is mortgage, utilities, car, food, and then also the last one is going to be your health insurance. How much are you paying on a monthly basis for your health insurance? All right, so you have 5 numbers: mortgage, utilities, transportation, which is your car, food, and health insurance. All right, so now calculator, add those all up. So add them up on your calculator if you need it. Once you've added them up, multiply it by 12, because there's 12 months in a year. And then at the very bottom where it says total, that is your financial security number. So essentially what this number is when you retire, if you want to live the exact same lifestyle that you live right now, to live, right? These things will be paid without you having to work, right? So you're still going to have to work, right? These things will not be paid by your earned income, right? So you want your investments to be paying for your fixed expenses. You're still going to have to work if you have only reached financial security, because you have college loans, right? We're going to go over all this stuff. You have to buy clothes. You want to go to the gym and all that stuff. So you still have to work for that income, but this is a way that you can just have your fixed expenses paid for, right? That's how you survive. Yeah, that's what you need to survive, right? On an annualized basis. Does that make sense? I kind of confused that a little bit. I think everybody got a little confused. All right, we good? All right, so what we're doing next, so now we're going to financial vitality, right? So this is where we get to splurge a little bit, right? So college loans. What is your college loan payment, right? Because that is, it's not a necessity, right? If you went to school, that's a luxury. How much are you spending on clothes on a monthly basis, and divide that by 50%, right? So what do you project that you're spending on clothing? All right, so we got college loans, half of what you would spend on, half of what you would spend on clothing, and then now we're going out to our eating out, your alcohol, your entertainment, if you're going to a concert, half of that too, right? So alcohol, food, entertainment, 50% of that. Next one is your gym membership. How much are you paying for the gym? And that's another one is a half. And then the final one are gonna be any accounts that you may have. Netflix, Spotify, Audible, anything like that. Again, it's half. The only one that's full is the college loans on this one, is the full payment. Everything else is 50%. So we got college loans, clothing, entertainment, which is food, beverage, concerts, baseball games, anything of that sort, gym membership, and then your Spotify, Netflix, Audible, any accounts that you may have, right? If you got other stuff, I mean, and it's 50% of that. So, after you have all those written down, you're gonna add them up, right? Don't put it in the total number, because we're gonna do some more. So add all those up. Once you have those added up, multiply that by 12, and then you're adding that to your financial security number. So you've added them all up, you've multiplied them by 12, and then you're adding that to your financial security number, and that is what your total of your financial vitality number is, right? So that is your number. So if you're going to retire and you and I live at 50% of your current high-end lifestyle, right, which is the luxuries of the college loans, the clothing, the food, the alcohol, the going out to eat, that is what you have to make on an annualized basis to be able to cover that for free, right? So still, right now, if you don't have that in terms of our, like with us, if we don't have Social Security, or if we're just basing it off of our 401ks, is our 401k or our Social Security gonna produce that number? If not, you're gonna have to work until you die, right? If you wanna live at 50% of your lifestyle currently. Next, financial independence, right? So this is where you no longer have to work, right? So this is gonna be your entire lifestyle right now. What you do on a daily basis is covered by your financials. Right, so essentially what this is, and it's hard, this is hard to figure out right now because you don't have access to your bank accounts. It's what you look at, what did I spend in 2019, right? How much money did I spend in 2019, right? And that's how you really find that financial independence number. Just for reference, so what I did is I added $22,000 to my financial vitality number, but that's because I had my exacts. So my financial vitality was a certain amount, and then it came out to my financial independence was $77,952 is how much money I spent this year in my lifestyle to live in all, right? So if you don't know exactly how much you spent, add $20,000 to that financial vitality, and that is your financial independence number. So you got financial vitality plus 15 to 20 grand is gonna be your financial independence number. All right, and then you're gonna write that down underneath your financial independence. Next, so now this is the fun part, right? So this goes back to our goal setting, right? So we had those big dreams. This is where we start to be able to make those dreams a reality, right? So financial freedom, so we're living for free, right? Not living for free, but our lifestyle is covered by our investments already. Right, so you have that number that you need to make in order to cover everything. Now what I want you to do is take 2 to 3 luxuries on that big goal sheet. If it's a boat, if it's your 69 Mustang, if it's your travel, right? So take 2 or 3 of those and write them down in the financial freedom number, and then that's what we're gonna find what the monthly payment is for those, right? So we're adding those into our lifestyle, right? So if you want to buy a Ford Raptor's monthly car payment is going to be $800 a month. Ford Raptor, $800 a month. That is one of those luxuries. What else do you want to buy? You have you can do 2 to 3, right? So do 2 to 3. Anything, this is where the second beach house could come into play. So yeah, and it's hard to know exactly what, like how do you know how much you're going to spend on a vacation? Just kind of guesstimate, right? Like if you think you want to go on a $10,000 vacation, you divide that by 12, and that's what $833, right? I think that's what the monthly payment's going to be, right? So you have 2 to 3 of those in that sheet, in that section. All right. Once you have those luxuries and you have that number, you add them together, you multiply them by 12, and then you add them to your financial independence number at the bottom, right? So you have your 2 luxuries. If each luxury is $1,000 a month, that's going to be an extra $24,000 a year that you're going to need to live the life that you want to live down the road. Next, so now everybody's added, they have their financial freedom number, right? Should be pretty high. It should be more than your financial independence number. Next is the absolute freedom, right? So absolute freedom is, I want you to try to turn around, look at your goals that you wrote, pick the 2 biggest ones, the 2 most, I don't want to say unrealistic, but the reach goals. Write those in that absolute financial freedom, and then try to give a price for those as well on a monthly basis. So does everybody have so you wrote those 2 biggest goals down, 2 to 3, and then try to give them a number as well. Same scenario, multiply it, add them up, multiply it by 12, add it to that financial freedom number. So, all right, so now we have our absolute financial freedom. So now I want everybody to turn it on to the very back page of that, and then think so before we do this exercise, think about how much money do you really think you need for retirement, to retire? Like, how much do you need? In order to retire, how much do you need to have to be able to say, okay, I'm comfortable not working anymore? In a bank account. You have a bank account here, or let's say it's in a 401k. How much money do you think needs to be in a bank account for you to be able to retire at 65? Or if you want to retire at 45, how much money? Don't try to do the math. Give your honest opinion of, this is what I think I'm going to need to retire and be able to live the lifestyle that I live right now with my kids, with my wife, with whatever it is, husband, wife, whatever. So write that number, right? Everybody's number is going to be different too, because everybody thinks a little bit differently. So what I want to do now is I'm going to kind of we'll see where you think realistically versus what the real world is. So if you get a 6% return, and this is very low. So the S&P 500, which is the stock market, the best 500 companies in the world, over the last 20 years has got 9.2%, right? That's the average. There's a lot of people that think that 6 to 8% is realistic. So we're basing this off a 6% return on investment with all your investments that you have right now. So what I want you to take is that absolute financial freedom number. And if you feel like absolute financial freedom, and I should have said this before, if you feel that absolute financial freedom is not realistic for you or not attainable for you, then you can do this on your financial vitality, right? Not everybody wants to buy a boat and wants to buy an island and have 2 houses. Not everybody wants to do that, right? So if you feel that you would just like half of your expenses to be paid with your financial vitality, or maybe you want to work for the rest of your life, you can multiply by your financial security number. So take that number, whatever number that you feel like you're going to be or that you want to be, and multiply it by 20. Now write that number underneath the number that you wrote on the back of the sheet. I don't know what they guessed, but the realistic number is the one that we just multiplied by 20. Whatever you decided, whatever your financial vitality, absolute freedom number is, that is, if you multiply it by 20, get a 6% return, that is what you need in your retirement account in order to retire and live the exact life that you're living right now. Most of the times when you do this, it's, we don't really know. You don't know how much, and that's what I'm trying to teach, and I want people to start to understand is there are ways that you can know exactly how much money you need to retire and how much money you should be investing every single month to be able to reach that and not have to worry about it. Right? You automate your expenses, you automate your investing every single month, right? And you reverse engineer. So now we have that number, right? So everybody's got their big number, that investment number, right? So at 6% return, you're gonna have to help me with the math a little bit on this. Yeah, can you help me a little bit? Yeah. So so at a 6% return, you're gonna need that percentage of whatever, right? So what I want you to do is divide whatever your age is. So, take your retirement age, your goal retirement age, subtract your current age right now. This isn't gonna really work on how I'm doing it right now, but I'm just trying to keep you in the mindset. I didn't prepare to do this portion of it. Yeah. All right, so if you wanna retire at 65 and you're 25, you got 40 years, right? If you wanna retire at 30 and you're 28, you got 2 years, right? That's it, right? So then you take that number, and now there's compounded interest, right? And we can multiply it by 6%, right? But I'm just gonna base it off of, so divide that number by the amount of years that you have left to retirement. This is your investment life left, your investment life that you have left, right? Does that make sense? So if you want to retire at 65 and you're 45, you have 20 years. Take that 20 years and divide it from your number, right? Your big number, the realistic number. And I'm gonna cheat. I'm gonna give you guys an app too. So it's called Compound. It is the best app, so you can literally put in particular percentages of return and also monthly investment, and it'll tell you exactly how much money you'll have over that percentage if with the compounded interest. All right, so I want somebody who wants to give me an example? I'm gonna do the math right now. Okay, what do you got? So what is your goal number? What is your end? Your end number is 3.5, right? So what is your timeline of retirement? 35 years. Okay, so you have 35 years. So, and we're gonna base it off of 6%. Now this is very low, but it's better to be short and have more money in your account when you retire than not have all that money in your account and like, oh shit, I gotta go back to work at Hardee's or Walmart, right? That's not okay, because no one's gonna hire a 65-year-old in the 2040s, right? So, all right, so Danny, I'm gonna ask you a personal question. How much money do you have right now invested? This is too personal, I know, sorry. So you got 120,000 right now. So in order to reach that goal, all right, for you to reach 3.5 million, you should be investing $1,600 a month at a 6% return to reach 3.5 million by the time in 35 years. That's how much you should be doing. $1,600 a month should be going into some type of investment account. Now it doesn't have to be a 401k or a Roth IRA, right? There's other ways to invest. You own a house, so he's paying down his equity every month with his fixed expenses. So when he has that paid off, his house is worth $400,000. He now only has to have 2.7 million in an account. And if he's trying to get to that retirement number, right, or that monthly income number, you rent it out, or you could sell it, right? Everybody has a different strategy. You have $2,500 a month in income, right? There's different ways to invest in different things. It doesn't have to be a 401k. So when it comes to automating, right, I recommend that everybody should, it's called paying yourself first, right? So you have those fixed expenses every month. As Billy was saying, that savings account, those 4 savings accounts should be paid right after your mortgage, right? Don't miss a mortgage payment. Don't miss your insurance payment. Don't have the water bill get cut off. But after those life survival payments are made, you should be paying yourself and investing in yourself for your future to reach those numbers. And then that's when the vitality number, you can go into restaurants, into bars, into entertainment. That's what you live off of after you've already paid yourself and invested, right? So that's really, if you guys have questions, that's really all I got for you. I hope this was helpful. If you want, so I have spreadsheets that you can track your expenses. It's very manual, but I like to do it manual. Every month I go in and write the exact amount of money that I've spent on certain stuff, and it auto populates it, shows me exactly how much I'm spending, right? So then I can reassess every single month. Huh? You know what you're spending, right? And it's like, sometimes it's a reality check. It's like, shit, I spent way too much. We just finished up goal planning. We went over 2020 goals, big time goals, big thinking goals, and then also financial literacy, so everyone could find out exactly what they need in retirement, in a bank account and an investment account, in order to live the same lifestyle that they live today. All right, we had around 25 people, great participation. I'm very pleased with the event. Had mimosas. We gave around $250 worth of gift cards out for local DC restaurants. Until next time, don't miss it.